You have been using this perk deck wrong. Hey friends, today I want to take this entire video to talk about the Sociopath perk deck. I know that there's already a decent amount of videos out already talking about the perk deck, but some of the more popular ones are super misleading. Okay, I love you Russian Badger, and I mean no hate. I love your content, and your entire friend group is super funny, but you have single-handedly ruined all of my randoms with your two videos about Sociopath and Melee. Sociopath is, yes, the best perk deck for melee in the game, but just because it is doesn't mean that's all it does. If we take a look at the perk deck cards, we can see that on card 3, it tells us that we generate 30 armor per kill within a 1 second cooldown. This gives us more armor regenerated and faster as well than Bullseye, which is consistently one of the best skills in all of Death Sentence. Alone, this card allows for Sociopath to be one of the few decks that actually doesn't necessarily need Bullseye to function on Death Sentence, and in turn, it becomes extremely broken on lower difficulties. And this isn't even Sociopath's most broken skill. On obtaining the final card of the deck, you gain the ability to cause panic on enemies 75% of the time. Panic stuns enemies completely for a second or two, and is easily the most broken ability in the game that only Muscle and Sociopath itself has. So, Sociopath has some amazing armor gaining potential and the best ability in the game. There are only 2 cards in its deck, but notice how none of these skills need melee to activate them? For so long, people have been using Sociopath as a melee mainly with gun for a reserve, and never stopped to think, what if I use my gun as my main with a melee on the side? That is how you use this deck. No, seriously, it's that simple. Just use Sociopath like you would any other deck. If you use a deck like this, it becomes arguably a top 5 deck of all time, in my opinion. Normal Sociopath can play roughly the same as Anarchist, as they both need massive damage to armor gate and survive. For people that play on Deathwish and below, you kinda don't need to do more than this. 30 armor on kill and 25 more per headshot if you take Bullseye Ace is plenty enough to win your heists. For people on Death Sentence, it is still pretty easy, since Sociopath has another non-melee related ability that grants a passive 20% damage reduction. This reduction is enough to give Sociopath a passive 2-shot armor with the ICTV, and even a 3-shot armor in certain scenarios if you can use Underdog Ace and Frenzy Ace consistently. Before I show you some more Sociopath gameplay, I want to address another thing that most people seem to not understand. Your melee choice matters. When you play Sociopath the correct way, your melee's real use case in all difficulties is to provide an extra source of healing and kill dozers. So seriously, since consecutive melee hits need to be within 1 second of each other to get the 10 times melee damage bonus, which is absolutely crucial to killing dozers, this makes most melees in the game an invalid option. This is because most of the game's melee weapons have way too much attack delay and or cooldowns to make use of this. This includes the spoon. I know it's a funny weapon, but stay with me please and try not to use it next time you play Sociopath. It is so much better, you have to believe me. And not only do we want the melee to swing fast, but we also want it to do the most damage. So we really want to only pool the 70 base damage weapons, since that's the highest damage tier melee's weapons can be. With these restrictions, only 2 really stand out, the Ice Pick and the Katana. If your build is in need of concealment, go with the Ice Pick, as it's the only 30 base concealment, 70 damage melee, besides the Tonto, with the Tonto having less range. If you don't care about concealment, go with the Katana, because its range is higher, and its attack delay and reload is the fastest. Now that I've covered the misunderstandings of Sociopath, I'll show you some clips of me using the deck on both Death Sentence and Deathwish to get a full perspective on how broken Sociopath can really be. So in this clip, I'm on the Black Cat heist, my personal favorite heist in the entire game. I just placed the drill for the safe code. And yeah, this is the main Sociopath build I really like running. I kill this cloaker with my katana real quick and fix the drill. But yeah, mainly I stay in this hallway for most of the drill time. I get tased here. Uh, the taser's gun actually stays in the wall for quite a amount of time. It confused me a little, not gonna lie. You'll also see me use my first aid kits pretty freely. I don't like saving them. I don't see the point of saving them. Ending the heist with 14 medkits in your inventory or 0, it doesn't even matter, you know? So just use them whenever you feel like you need to. In my opinion, it's better than wasting time trying to melee people for that 10% health on kill. So yeah, that's the reason I use them pretty freely in all of these clips. In a bit, this metadozer is gonna come through, and I'm just gonna slash him down because I have a bunch of bloodthirsty stacks, and that skill is really good because it allows Sociopath and Infiltrator to one-shot dozers. Yeah, but I'm just gonna be hanging around this area for this entire drill's lifespan. This is a really good area to be in because you have a lot of open points that you could shoot into, and it's also decently hard for them to shoot back. So in this part, I throw some concussion grenades to get back to the drill to fix it because it's a little dangerous out there. I almost died to this cloaker. Thank God I'm running a deck that could casually melee hit them to the floor. Yeah, so I get back to the drill, and my goal right now is to get back to that hallway because it's really safe, and I don't want to get pushed in too much by the cops here. So I just fast forward a little bit. Nothing really happened too much. I did go down to an unfortunate heavy swat, but as you can see here, you will see as I look behind me, there are 3 cops, all panicked. If they weren't panicked, I would have totally died there. So the fact that that 75% panic chance just totally saved me right there is actually really insane because I was not aware about them at all. I play the game with like 0 audio, so it's kind of hard to like hear anything that's going on, obviously. So in this next clip, I'm on Mountain Master, and I just got downed. I'm getting rezzed by a bot. Last game in the Black Cat, I'm not gonna lie, I did get into custody and fail the mission. It happens, you know. I just got really unlucky. But yeah, so now we're on Mountain Master. I take quite a heavy blow here. I'm gonna use an IFAC because you know I got a lot of them. We're gonna swing around this corner, and I see that dozer. Currently, I have a lot of bloodthirsty stacks. I use another first aid kit, and I swing him down in 2 shots. Yeah, this clip is a really good example of not using your melee 90% of the time. You always want to use your gun. You have your gun. Your gun's very powerful. You should use it 90% of the time, always. You never want to pull your melee out just because you can, just because you're on Sociopath, you know? So in this clip, I'm in Shackle Throne auction. The last Mountain Master game, I didn't die that time. I just crashed. Yeah, a lot of the new heists are really hard to run on such high graphics. So yeah, I really wanted to choose a heist that has a lot of spawn points, and this is kind of the heist for that. I just wanted to show you the killing power that Sociopath can have. But yeah, I do run into this dozer, which was not very smart. I do go down. The bots use their Inspire on me. Take my IFAC. Yeah, this entire clip is just me doing a lot of killing. That's kind of the entire idea of Shacklethorn, I guess. Yeah, so fast forward a little bit. I do kill this dozer with my ice pick. I'm using an ice pick because I forgot to switch off of it. Yeah, that's why I'm using the ice pick here instead of the katana while running 75 detection rate. But yeah, we made it to the basement, and yeah, I help a little killing this minigun dozer. And not much else happens. I do miss this ice pick. If I was running the katana, I am 95% sure I would have hit that. So I'm a little mad that I wasn't at the time. And for these next clips, we're gonna move on from Death Sentence to Death Wish. I have a full party here. We're on Midland Ranch because I love this heist, honestly. And I did change my build slightly to fit in Bullseye Ace because that 55 armor every 2 seconds is gonna come in handy like right now. See, 2 of my teammates are down and there's just a lot of enemies in this room. Even on a lower difficulty, we still want to minimize the amount of damage we take. So yeah, I'm taking a lot of cover here. And I go for this melee hit on this dozer. He was 4k HP, and honestly, that was an example of what not to do. I've been kind of painting the wrong picture. You do not always need to use your melee on dozers. Like, your gun does perfectly fine against dozers. If they're low enough HP, or if you're 90% sure that your gun can handle it, you should totally just shoot the dozer. Then again, I am on a pretty low difficulty, and the dozer was pretty low HP, so I wasn't exposing myself for too long there in order to go down, so it wasn't that big of a deal. This next clip is a little drawn out. We're still on Midland Ranch, same heist, same crew members, but yeah, I just wanted to really showcase the amount of survivability you have. This entire clip is just me on the outside of the barn shooting a bunch of people for a couple minutes while the objective runs down. This is also a good area to show how every single heist in the game has specific spawn points. You don't need to memorize all of them, but if you just know generally where most of them are, you could like efficiently kill everything. And it just makes it a lot easier, especially on those higher difficulties where your killing power really means a lot. So yeah, I'm literally just walking around freely, shooting people's heads off, because this deck and these guns are like super powerful. It'd be so much harder if I was just using melee the entire time. This wasn't supposed to be a build video, but just in case you wanted to use the same build that I was using, here it is. I'll start off with the weapons. I'll just quickly show the attachments. I was using the Akimbo VD12 shotguns and the Argos. These 2 shotguns are arguably like the strongest shotguns in the game, and I just really like the feel of them. But you can honestly swap them out for anything that you prefer. It doesn't have to be a shotgun either, but yeah, my recommendations if you want to swap them out are probably like the Judge, or maybe even the single V12 if you like the stability. For skills, I built to Inspired Basic through First Aid Kits. With Sociopath, honestly, you don't need aid kits if you're good enough, but I like them because it's super easy to use one after taking a giant health shot instead of trying to regain your health really slowly through melee hits on Death Sentence. And in Enforcer, I built to Overkill Basic and Iron Man Ace for the ICTV without building to Bullseye Basic, because like I said in the beginning, Bullseye Basic isn't something that Sociopath necessarily really needs. And we also take Scav Basic here as well. And nothing in Technician. And in Ghost, we build to Parkour Basic because we will be really slow with the ICTV. And we also get Unseen Strike Basic. I don't think the VD12s need crits, but I had a lot of points to use, so might as well. And then in Fugitive, we take Akimbo weapon skills, an extra life through 9 lives ace, and Bloodthirst and Pumping Iron Ace. These 2 skills are crucial to being able to kill dozers in difficulties where a dozer has 12,000 or 24,000 health. Yeah, in inventory, we take concussions because they're super broken. They let you rush objectives or revive teammates, and you get 6 of them. And of course, the katana because we don't care about concealment. All in all, the Sociopath perk deck is a tragedy because it has some of the most broken abilities in the entire game and is overlooked because most people believe it's just a melee deck, but it's not. And I really hope that I showcased that today. Anyways, thanks friends for watching, and be sure to check out my other videos that I posted today if you haven't already. There will be another video tomorrow, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe and like this video to help this channel grow. I really want to see it reach other people. With that being said, thank you so much again for watching the video and have an amazing day.